Hey guys, what's up? This is MatterBoy16, and you're probably thinking, what in the world did you do to your typewriter? But if you saw my my last video that I made on this, you'll know that I was showing you the components underneath the service panel, which is right there, and I was showing you the parts underneath, but I wasn't able to show you the parts on the side or the belts or anything that I wanted to show you, and that's because it had the metal ring around it. But I was able to take this off for servicing or cleaning out the typewriter, and I wanted to do a video to show you guys all that. And I also took the liberty of removing the keyboard cover to to show you guys the keyboard and show you that it's really all mechanical, all mechanized. It's not digital or anything. This is before digital typewriters and all that stuff. But if we go over here, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to prove something to you guys first here, and that this does have a slipper clutch. This is belt driven, and then this turns, which is what forces the numbers or the letters to be put onto the paper using these cantilevers and the hammers. But the thing is, it uses a slipper clutch, like I said. But the way the slipper clutch works on this is it uses a weighted flywheel on here that opens up when it gets to a high enough RPM, and then teeth grab on to the main gear that runs the belt that drives this, or it drives the rest of the unit. We see how I'm spinning the motor along with the flywheel, and it's not doing anything. It's not running the belt or anything. But when I turn it on, you'll see the the flywheel open up and actually grab onto the belt and start driving it. And see, the belt is now driving, the motor is now running everything. And you're probably wondering, well, why would they put a slipper clutch on something like this? And the reason is because it helps to protect not only the belt and the mechanisms inside, but the motor. Because the motor, whenever it's running, it has a very, very vibrating start. It starts off at a very high vibration level and then smooths out as it gets to the high RPM, and then that's when the clutch opens and then starts the thing running, which it starts it off at its full power without having to wait for it to. But you see that it's now spinning. And another thing it does is whenever the motor has been stopped, it allows for the motor to slow down nice and calmly, so the motor isn't stressed out by it. So if I shut down the thing, you'll see this gear stops, but the flywheel continues to spin for a few seconds, which helps protect the belt and the motor. And then this thing here is the belt tensioner, and this can be loosened just by putting a flathead on there, and then you can lift it up or put it down. But when it's down all the way, it sort of locks for you to be able to take off the belt if necessary, which this belt is in very good condition, because my guess is the previous owners or whatever, or the people who owned this previously, they rarely ever used it, and then whenever it broke, they stopped using it and they just left it. They didn't mess with it or anything, because this belt is in good condition. The whole thing's actually in really good condition, but the belt is particularly in the best condition. But this is, if you wanted to, you could leave this, you could take this whole entire screw off and you wouldn't even need it. And what that would do is allow this to freely move, which could soak up the vibrations of the belt. But what it would also do is it keeps the belt tension level a little bit higher, So you kind of don't want that, because if you were to have like if you were to have something happen or whatever, it could possibly wear out the rubber teeth on this. It would wear it out a little bit quicker. But this works as a shock absorber if you were to run it. So you see how the belt doesn't shake as much, and this wheel moves like crazy. And the reason that is because this has a clutch on it. And then there's a little dial. This thing here helps. I'll explain what that does, but this has a clutch on it, and I'll explain what it does later. But you see, this works as a vibration dampener. You can see it moving a bit, but I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to run it like that. I'm going to put it back onto its original place. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to get a view of this, but that's the thing. If you want it at a tension that's not too tight or not too loose. So that's nice and that's secured, but it's nice and loose, so that there's a little bit of play in the belt, which allows for a safer run of the typewriter. If I turn it back on, you see this thing here. This dial here, this is for what it says is copy sheet underneath it, but what this really does is it pushes in on this clutch, which in turn makes either this thing here spin at a higher ability to be able to do that many copies of paper, or it increases the hitting power of the numbers, because this pushes in on this clutch, and the clutch opens, and then it runs something at its full power, or it doesn't have a dampening system on it. So if I get out of my way, and you see here, it moves inward, or hang on here, see it moves in, and then back out, once I put it down there. And there's 10, there's 10 desired levels for it. And that's just to protect, that's just to give you a aspect of how tight you want it for the amount of paper that you want to. Because if you have it at its maximum copy sheet setting, and you try typing on one sheet of paper, it could put holes in the paper. So you want to be careful with that. But if we go over to the other side, well, before we do, I'm going to show you in here. I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but there is the bar down there that snags those keys and then smashes the hammers forward. I'm not sure if you're able to see it, but it is moving in there. I'm going to turn it off and let you see if you see there's little teeth on it when it starts up, and it grabs those hammers and then moves them forward. So the motor, this belt also drives, the motor also drives the return piece on the carriage. It doesn't run off the belt or anything like that. It just runs strictly off the motor, off of a motor gearing system. But over here, there's the belt for the carriage control, which controls the up and down movement of the carriage, and it allows for the cartridge control to run. So whenever you were to hit the button or whatever, this clutch here engages, and this is mechanized. This isn't the freewheel clutch on the other side, like the slipper clutch on the other side that's automatic. This is manual. Whoops. But what you do is if you push a button, it grabs and it moves that clutch. And then it moves the gears and the wheels, and then it controls the teeth on the cartridge assembly and the other thing. And on the spool there. But what else I wanted to show you is, you see the power button, there's actually no switch right here. The switch, move the carriage out of the way, the switch is right there. So it is a mechanized switch. It's not a regular switch. And you see this little bar that goes all the way over to here, and then it's gripped onto this by a cantilever. Or not actually a cantilever, but it's like right there. It hooks into it right there, and then you move it, and then it turns it on and off. And then it shuts down the typewriter. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys this typewriter taken the whole way apart. And show you that this is completely and utterly serviceable, and that you can actually take these things this far apart safely without damaging them or fear of messing up on putting them back together. But this is how, if you were to fix them, this is how you would be able to take them apart to be able to do that. It gives you all the access to the parts, the keys come off, and then you're able to do whatever you need to fix it up or replace whatever part that needs to be replaced. Again, these typewriters are, back in the day, were particularly the Smith Corona electric typewriters. These were around 100 to 100 to 200. I mean, they were around 100 to 150 to 200 to 250, possibly up to $300 back then, which was a lot. But they made sure that this is all manual. This has been checked by a and they put their part number. They put numbers in there to be able to, for quality control inspections. And you see numbers there, numbers there. There's numbers inside here on the different parts, but you can't see them. So this was actually checked. This has had quality control checking done to it. So people back then, when they paid for something, they got something that was very good and that was made in the USA, as to what it says on the back. Made in the USA. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Stay cool, YouTube. Bye.